which consists of a 60-second pitch, followed by Q&A by our panel. So we have another event next Wednesday, which is a 5-minute pitch with slides and a 7-minute Q&A session. So keep an eye on those events on our calendar. We've got lots of other stuff, fun stuff too, like networking every Friday at Craves Cafe. We have touch football on Saturdays at Stanford. So before we get started, I want to introduce a couple of our sponsors who help make this event possible. So let's hear it for Brandy.
Hello everyone, good evening. My name is Brandy Stu Madison. I have a company named Party Club Entertainment. We host business networking and dance parties. This event is the most courageous event I've ever done in my entire life. People have been wanting something a little bit different and not so conservative like all my networking and dance parties. We're doing a sexy Halloween dance party. And we will have 50% men and 50% women based upon the prepays that have come in already. There is a lot of women coming. We will have more than 300 people at this party this Saturday. If you want to see if you can win, you can put your name in the little drawing thing. Other than that, you can pick up one of these little cards that are on the table. I'm very, very excited about this. So feel free to come and enjoy yourself. Thanks.
How's that for an elevator pitch getting to the wow? Anyway, next we have Asher from DeVry University. So let's hear it for Asher and DeVry.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Asher Bell. I represent DeVry University and its Keller Graduate School of Management. Who here has heard of DeVry University? Keller Graduate School of Management? So we got some pretty good brand awareness going on with our commercials, radio, etc., and even online marketing efforts. Well, if you would like to converse with me and learn more about some of the great opportunities we have, my table is in the back right behind the food, and I'd be more than happy to relay that information to you all. Hope you guys have a great night.
Okay, so before we get to our elevator pitches, we're going to have a brief panel discussion with our distinguished panel of investors, and to sort of set the tone for the elevator pitches. And then after the elevator pitches, we're actually going to have time for speed pitching, which means anyone and everyone in the room can stand in line in front of your favorite investor and talk to them a couple minutes. So it's kind of like speed dating, but speed pitching. If you want to date any of them, that's your business. But anyway, just kidding. So anyway, let's get started. We'll have our panelists introduce themselves and say a little bit about their background. So start with Manny.
Hello everyone, can you hear me okay? My name is Manny Fernandez. I'm an angel investor with a seed stage fund in San Francisco called SF Angel. You can find out more about us at sfangel.com.
Hey, my name is Asim. I'm an angel investor with Kiritsu Forum, and specifically the industries I'm interested in are SaaS, mobile, social, consumer technology, or enterprise technology.
Hi, my name is Bastian. I'm working for Telefonica Digital, which is a global business development unit of Telefonica, the huge mobile operator. No one knows in the US because we have no operations, no branding here, but we are operating in 23 countries, Europe, Latin America. Here in Mountain View, I'm working for the venture capital team. We are a corporate strategic investor, and I'm personally interested in working with startups, seeing the pitch presentations. I worked as an entrepreneur within Telefonica in the German operating business. That's why I have this funny accent. I experienced a lot of pain when you work for a corporate, because a corporate often does not know how to handle a startup. That's why I got highly interested in this kind of pitch presentations, that you be prepared, that you can answer all the questions and then get the money you request to move your business forward. So I'm highly interested to deal in pitch presentations tonight.
So a lot of the presenters we have tonight are pitching for the first time or maybe the second time. So from an investor standpoint, what constitutes an effective pitch, and how should they prepare before they pitch to investors like yourselves?
Make sure you're covered the aspect on how they're going to make money and focus more about the business than what I hear a lot of people talk about is a cool product and never really, again, talk about the opportunity of making money.
So this is like kind of a pet peeve with me. I think the most important thing is you will find on internet hundreds of lists that you should cover this, you should cover that. All that goes without saying, but I think my most important thing is you really need to prepare. It's amazing how many people come to these events without preparing. After years and years of working in this industry, I still prepare if I have to have an important meeting. One of the best entrepreneurs I have worked with, in fact, I invested in her company and it's getting acquired this weekend. She's from Princeton, Kellogg's, very smart, very focused, but she still prepares like hell. Her 2-minute pitches finish in 1 minute 59 seconds. Her 10-minute pitches finish in 9 minutes 59 seconds. So I think preparation is really the key here.
Yeah, I agree. Preparation is definitely the key. I mean, 60 seconds is a really short period of time to present your business, so you have really to focus what you want to communicate. From my perspective, in 60 seconds, what you have to do is to convince your potential investors to meet with you a second time, to have more time to explain your business. You have to know your numbers. So often people say they are looking for a huge market. Huge can mean anything. So it's better to talk about real numbers to manage expectations and to be sure that you can answer all the questions that might come up to make sure that you are the right person that people should invest in, because investors looking for people with good ideas, and so the team and how the team interacts and how the team is prepared is really, really important for your round.
What are some of the trends that you see in the startup investment world, and what are your thoughts on those trends, if any?
I see a great trend in the equity crowdfunding space. A lot of platforms are getting prepared for that. One specific platform that I'm invested in is Realty Shares. I found them in a meeting similar to this and made an investment, helped provide traction, and now they're in 500 startups. How many people here have heard of 500 startups? Okay, almost everyone, right? But there's a lot. It was interesting about that model because they brought in over 1,000 investors that are accredited investors, and they were able to do it in a short period of time. So I'm finding more money coming into the valley outside of the area.
So one guy made this comment to me from the Band of Angels, and he was right after I thought about it. And he said that whenever the valley is doing very good, the deal flow becomes very poor. This sounds kind of weird because what happens is, and this happened with me by the way, I'm just starting to spin my wheels on another startup, and my friends in Facebook, they're like, why are you running around trying to raise 100,000? Here, I will write you a check for 50,000. So I'm seeing this happening more and more. Everybody's making money in stocks, of course. Silicon Valley is doing very, very good. So a lot of friends and family money is coming in, and I think I'm seeing that in the professional forums like Angel Forum or some of these other angel groups I go to, the deal flow is that much at a greater stage or of poor quality. The second thing is, of course, I do believe there's still a lot of capital locked in, not only in Silicon Valley, but around US, and I don't know if crowdfunding is the way to open that locked capital, but I think we in Silicon Valley kind of get carried away with what is happening here, but there's still a lot of money locked in.
Some trends area I'm personally interested in is the whole kind of wearable technology, Internet of Things. So you see more and more startups trying to get funding, crowdfunding, to prove that their idea is the money worth. So it's easier than ever before to build hardware right now. So a lot of stuff is going on up there. Connected to these wearable technology is new kind of big data. So people collect more and more data about themselves and try to analyze and try to optimize their day and their living. And I'm also personally interested in this whole education space. I think there's a lot of innovation potential, and I also see a huge need for access for information and educational stuff.
I know you guys touched on crowdfunding a little bit. I just want to briefly expand on it. We had a program on Tuesday featuring Roger Royce Law Firm, and we have a lot of pitch events, and the rules have changed since September 23rd with regard to public programs like this. So to err on the side of caution, we are having our presenters not say, I'm looking for X amount of money for this, that, and that. And anyway, I wonder what your thoughts are on that with regard to how that affects the process, and is that a good thing or a bad thing?
In my personal opinion, I think people are getting carried away. You know, law is only as good as enforcement, and these type of events are so small, but that's my opinion. And I think that, you know, the SEC has been pretty flexible on these platforms like Angel List and Funders Club, but they're not actually doing Title III of the Jobs Act, which is the equity crowdfunding. They're essentially doing 506B, which is old-fashioned syndication. And so the term crowdfunding, as some people would say, I view it as really just utilizing the internet to transfer capital from one person to a company, not so much this Kickstarter model, or some people have a fear that it's dumb money coming in. I think that if it's structured the right way, it can be very positive.
Yeah, so I think you kind of already mentioned it, Manny. Law is only as good as enforcement. I do believe, though, I usually like to remain legal, on the legal side of things, but I do believe there is a time and there are areas in which one should push the envelope. And I think this is one of those areas where one should push the envelope. I don't think SEC itself is clear exactly what they want. And obviously their concept of what is a sophisticated investor, you know, a guy might have 10 million in the bank and he might have made it in his farmland and may not be a sophisticated investor. And some smart guy in Google, I mean, he may have some stock money and wants to put money in, so I don't see anything wrong with it. So I'm kind of on the borderline of this. Of course, we still have to, you know, live in a legal society, but I think we need to push the envelope on this.
I think crowdfunding can help in specific cases to get the first prototype done. But anyway, I believe you should try to bootstrap and then looking for real investment money. So you have to make up your mind who might be your investor you are interested in. I think it's a good idea for some kind of startup ideas to get a validation if someone is interested. But it's different to raise real money from real investors. But it can be a good start.
I like to stay on the legal side of things myself, but that's just me. Anyway, any questions for the audience for our panel? Maybe just take a couple questions, and maybe someone has a burning question about the process of getting funded or how to prepare for a pitch. Does anyone have a quick question?
What's the percent? I read this on a blog. I was wondering what the percentage of funds, what are the percentage of funds that are getting convertible notes nowadays, or funds under 250K? I read on a blog it's 60% in Silicon Valley, and that was 2 years ago. I was wondering if that's currently correct.
Yeah, almost everything. At least whatever I have seen in the angel scene in last about, I would say, let's look at 6 months. Most of them are now bringing in deals with convertible notes. I mean, it's the same thing. You know, everybody gets super excited about their idea. They don't know how to value it, and they are actually becoming more and more common. In fact, to the tune that there was this guy making a pitch. He's raising $3 million and he wants to do it on a convertible note, which is like way out there, right? I do have one comment on that, though, which is that I personally would never do a convertible note if there's not a cap. So, I mean, some people are even coming in without a cap, which is, to me, that doesn't make any sense.
Okay, well, let's hear it for our panel for those brilliant insights. Now we're going to go on with the show, and first I want to introduce our director of pitch development. He's a coach, friend, mentor, and critic as well for all of our aspiring pitchers. We have a weekly workshop, and he spends a lot of his own personal time working with people individually. So let's hear it for Steve Austin, the $6 million man.
Okay, so this is the drill. Problem, solution, what's different? Remember? Where's the wow? Big name that's doing it, because we got some audience this time, besides me. They're all much more genteel also. Okay, are we ready to go? Okay, so coming up will be first Sean, then Eddie, Sahil. Sahil, where are you? You still here? Okay, then Arbor, and then Francis. There she is. Sean?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So bear with us, we only have one mic, this is Hacker Dojo, so we'll have to respond back for it, but we'll get it done. This is startup mode, so. Oh, you guys do me a favor, you guys want to sit on the side of the table? Stand up here, face the audience, face your
Ready?
Hi, I'm Sean Gardner, the CEO of FunToRent.com. We are the Airbnb for boats and power sports. Our platform enables owners, rental operators, and dealerships to rent out their equipment when it's not being used. Boats, ATVs, jet skis, snowmobiles, all this equipment is expensive to own, rent, and it usually sits idle 95% of the time. Our platform solves that, and we have over $1 million of insurance. Some owners are making a few hundred a month, some are making thousands a month by renting out their equipment through our site. We've had over 400 rental transactions to date, and we're starting to scale up, and we're looking for advisors, mentors, and also to discuss funding. That's Fun to Rent. Thank you very much.
Is it a seasonal business? Is it just
No, so we got ATVs and snowmobiles. Right now, ATVs are really popular. This is a popular time of year. In Vegas, Arizona, upstate, and then snowmobile season starts to kick off. There's 1 million snowmobiles in the U.S. If you want to rent a snowmobile in Tahoe, it's $325 a day. So a $6,000 snowmobile sitting in somebody's driveway, they can make $150 a day on that snowmobile. Yeah. So it's if it was purely boats, it could be seasonal. Yeah.
So you said you have an insurance in place, covers 1 million? That
Yeah,
applies
correct.
For all these rentals?
It's $1 million in insurance for the owner's commercial liability insurance.
Okay.
It's insurance on the equipment,
Okay.
and then $100,000 of liability coverage for the renter too. So it's all three ways. It can be, it depends on what the value of the equipment is. If the boat's 120 grand, it's 120 grand, 100, and $1 million.
Okay.
Yeah.
So do you start right now locally, or are you already
No, we
across
got-
the spread the US?
Yeah, we took the relay rides model
Uh-huh.
where we have equipment all over.
Okay.
Because our insurance policy is valid across all 50 states right now.
And how do you make sure that someone likes to sign up his equipment,
Uh-huh.
that it's in the proper condition, that it's checked, that it's working, that there are no...
Yeah, so the scalable way is that we have rules and regulations on the site, and in general, we say nothing older than 10 years. And because this equipment doesn't get used, it sits around 95% of the time. 10 years old may mean that a boat 10 years old will have 100 hours of use on it. And so we also, if it's older than that, we can request records, or we can have an independent person inspect it. And then we also have, once it's rented, people are writing reviews for us.
Right.
And they're telling us, so.
No, I mean, the reviews are important for reputation, but just at the beginning, if the owner signs up, that to make sure it's in proper condition. You said you have someone, maybe he's coming around and check the boat. How often?
There has to be up to manufacturer specifications
Okay.
within an age range, and we can ask hours of use as well.
Oh.
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
So I have one question, rather curiosity. Why did you say that this is like Airbnb of this thing? Why didn't you compare it to that other company which lets you share cars, right? Where people rent out their cars. Yes, right.
Relay Rides is pretty big. They have an inventory of about 8,000 now, but Airbnb has an inventory of 350,000 or more, and they're international. So it's the business model is very similar to Airbnb, except we have the insurance on equipment. More people can relate to Airbnb. It's the Netflix of this. It's the Airbnb of this.
So what's your transaction fee? How much you get per rental?
Right now, we have it set at 25%. Yeah. Thank you.
Good,
Okay.
thank you. Good job. Okay. Eddie, Suhail next. Suhail, going once, going twice. Okay, then let's see Suhail. Arbor? Okay, and that will be Francis. After Eddie, Francis.
I'm gonna do it without the mic, but I gotta use my speaker card, is that okay? I'll speak loud.
All right,
It's up to you.
put it out there.
Okay, my name's Eddie Gottschalk. I have over 25 years experience in real estate and building predictive models. What if you could access all the latest monthly demographic and economic variables, local forecasts, just like the big real estate, big REITs do, the Blackstones of the U.S. WizMaps gives you everything you need to search, compare local real estate markets and trends based on last month's demographics and economic variables. These variables are hard to find and not online, hundreds of them. So our products for real estate brokers, investors, and professionals. For them, time is money. And knowing when to seize a market, which block, which tract, or which zip in the United States is going to grow, is critical. Our patent pending technology is built, and now we're looking for advisors. Good.
I've been a real estate investor for 12 years in local markets. The data we use is the MLS. There's a metro that's something we use based on comparable sales. How would this information be different than that?
There's the MLS, the IDX, which is, I'm still yelling, I'll be done before it. But that's property data. What's missing is income, population trends, vacancy rates, income changes, and demographics. You can buy yearly demographics, but monthly, big businesses buy that. So we buy that monthly data. And the reason why the brokers don't buy it, because it's not in a usable format. So we put the data on a GIS map so we can make sense of the 300,000 markets. I've been a licensed agent in 5 states, so I know that the data is missing. And I found out about by building predictive models. So the real estate agents in general don't have local markets. And which zip code is the hottest zip code in California? Simple question. The database lookup with our technology. So it doesn't really have to do with the lat long, the property data, but it has to do with the block, the tract, zip code, neighborhood changes. And there's hundreds of changes that are not a part of the MLS.
And who's your target market?
It's the real estate brokers, the investors, professionals. It's going to be the real estate brokers because they care about making more sales. The investors. So we could sell, instead of one-to-one, we want to sell one-to-many.
How many customers do you have right now?
I've sunk $500,000 in this technology, and it's just coming out to the prototype. Believe it or not, it's hard to do what I described.
So you built the prototype. Have you tested it until now with any of your target group you described, like real estate brokers?
I have lots of people who want to buy it for $100 a month, but the data is $50,000 a year, so that's why we're trying to sell to one-to-many, so that way we scale fast.
But again, how many test users or beta users have you worked with to validate your business idea?
On a prior prototype, I've gone through 3 prototypes. On our prior prototypes, we launched the National Association of Realtors, and I've had customers paying one at a time, and they all wanted it, but I ran out of money because the data is so expensive. So now we're redoing it so it renders data maps in real time, which is half a second, and they want it. So we've over
So
100.
you have interest right now. So you haven't had real users, it's not real hits right now. So you cannot say I have 1 million hits per month looking for data.
The challenge for the real estate agent is that the data is $50,000. They can buy ESRI for $10,000.
Right.
Then they're going to buy a programmer for another $50,000. So that's $130,000. We replace all that. So we do is log in.
I understand your proposition. I just wanted to know how many users we already have and how many users gave you positive feedback. I understand from my perspective you have interest in your product, but you haven't had real paid customer yet, right?
When I launched my earlier prototype, which was My Neighborhood Trends, I had over 95 people paying $40 a month. But that wasn't that to me. That we were very happy. The ones I had to shut it down because so I had people that wanted.
So I have one quick question, which is, do we really need monthly trends for real estate investment? Even 1 year trends are enough, right?
Depends if you care about growth or risk. If you have yearly trends, when you sell, when you buy.
I had funds over $7 million, and I don't see the value in it. We're pretty sophisticated, so I just want to obtain. That's my feedback.
Well, why don't you be there?
All right, thank you, Eddie. We'll use the microphone for the presenter, and then we'll switch it, since we have just one for the questions. Then you'll have to put it out there.
Okay.
And
Okay,
it's
gentlemen,
Francis.
get your checks out. Hi, I'm Francis Navarez, and I'm with Football Connect. Did you know that football, known as soccer here in the U.S., is the only sport that's played in 205 countries, has a 3.5 billion fan base, and is a $28 billion industry? Well, there are millions of young, talented football players throughout the world who do not have the economic means to showcase their athletic abilities until now. And we're not just talking about other countries, we're talking about here in the United States. Football Connect is an online global football community, opening the doors to a market of untapped talent, so that no matter where people live or what their family circumstances are, they'll have the same opportunity to compete for the attention of coaches, agents, scouts, recruiters, and trainers worldwide. Our platform reinvents the way sports and other industries search for new talent, which has more monetary value than simply sharing with friends. We believe every child deserves an opportunity to dream it, show it, and ultimately live it. Don't you?
Oh, I'm sorry.
I think this was a very good presentation. I like the idea. As you said, soccer around the world is a huge market. I think there's a need for talents to get connected with coaches and all that kind of stuff. Could you talk a little bit about how you get the coaches on the one side and how you get the players on the other side, how they get to know about your platform to sign up?
Well, right now, we're working through clubs and associations here in the United States. My partner is in South America right now, because in other countries you have secretaries of sports, and you can work directly through the school system, as well as clubs and academies and so forth. But in the United States, it's a little bit different. There's 55 state organizations, and we focused on Northern California. We have commitment from the Juventus Club, which has 20,000 users, and then we have about 5,000 people on our site now, and we're working with 30 coaches, and 30 coaches worldwide, different ones for our beta, to find out what the video is that they need to see, because they want to see kids that are kicking the ball with both feet, kids that are hitting the ball. You know, they have specific skill sets that they want to see. So we want to make sure that we have a great example. So we're putting on kids slowly so that everybody can see what they need to have on there. Okay?
So, Francis, I mean, really, net, this is kind of like a marketplace, right? But then why only for soccer? I mean, one can say that, I would do the same thing for baseball or for cricket. I mean, just the market size, or what will one be investing in here? Is one just investing in some kind of attraction play? Is this a land grab? I mean, there are enough markets out there. I'm sure people can find soccer coaches today if they want to, right?
Yeah, but we're not targeting necessarily the coaches, because the coaches are the ones that are looking for the players. Don't forget that the Lionel Messis of the world, the Zidanes, the Pelés, they weren't playing in clubs and academies. Somebody saw them one day, and they took them in and started giving them the education and the resources whereby living their dream today. So we're talking about an untapped market. The average person spends for one child to play in the United States $2,000 on upwards to $10,000 for a kid to play soccer. There are lots of people that don't have those kinds of funds right now. So what we're trying to do is open up the whole entire community, such that if they want to just be a social player, they can socialize on the site. But if they want to take it to the next level, they've got an opportunity to show their stuff.
Talking about an untapped market, what's the business model to tap into that financial market?
Well, right now, our business model combines the attributes of LinkedIn, which has the revenue model, right? And it has Facebook, which is a social networking, and YouTube, which has the video and the pictures. What we're trying to do, we know that advertising, according to eMarketer, over the next few years, advertising outside the U.S. will grow to $10 billion worldwide. And a lot of companies, for example, GM pulled out of the NFL, pulled out of their marketing from the Super Bowl and put it in Manchester United. $325 million for 5 years. Hyundai is investing $80 million right now in Brazil, ahead of the World Cup. So we're right now in a great position, great timing into the market ahead of the 2014 World Cup for men, 2015 in Canada for women, and then 2016 is the Olympics.
We have thousands of people, how are you gonna monetize it? Who's customer number one?
Number one are the teams. We also built a Team Connect whereby coaches mentioned to us that they pass on the expenses for a team scheduler to the parents. Instead of doing so, we are talking to corporate sponsors, Verizon Wireless, AT&T, so forth, to promote the Team Connect, which we give away to coaches so that they can upload their kids from anywhere in the United States.
Okay, Nan coming up, and then Andrew, and then Oscar. Here you go, Nan.
Hi, my name is Nan. I'm the founder and the CEO of Frontier. So the problem is right now, the problem we try to solve is on the large network telecom enterprise. When you have thousands of systems, it's very hard to identify the problem. So what we do is we have an all-in-one solution from hardware appliance to capture all the network packets, to filter, to search, to find out the details, can help the customer solve the problem quickly and in a timely fashion. So currently we just try to get advisors to help us to grow.
Why are you different?
Oh, different. Okay, we differently is because there's no single company in the world. That's what we do. We are doing all in one shot. Most of the company, some company only doing capturing, no other alternatives.
Good. Thank you, Nan.
Oh, sure.
Pass the microphone.
I'm not sure. Can you explain it? What's your product exactly about? I didn't get that.
So basically, the product is to install a network. There's a pad, and the network traffic come to our appliance, and we can capture the packets, all the packets, and put it into the data storage. Okay, and so the packets basically can, for all information, can relate to performance, security, and also relate to any other issues. What happens? Yeah. So because of there are variety protocols, we can filter.
So you build a new technology, kind of. Is it patent?
We haven't patented yet. So we apply for trademark, something like that.
How many users do you have, or customers, or better users?
Okay, we have a large customer in Japan, for example, like Fujitsu, already have the order. We also have some in the US. So we already ship, mostly right now, currently, most of the customers in Japan, telecom companies, ICT providers.
So what does it do? It makes the network faster or more secure or what?
You can see, for example, you don't know what's going on in the network. Right? Current technology, whatever Linux or Wireshark, sniffers, don't know what's going on. Because we can go to the deep level of the packets. Every packet